So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is our C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 138 and in this video we go to task 6. I hope you tried all and made a better code than me, because my last video I messed up a lot and yeah, it was not that good, but that was also a demonstration that development means it's not perfect. You make mistakes, you change the code, you delete it, you try something new, and so on. That's also a good demonstration that you should not think your code must be perfect from start. No, absolutely not. You will change it a lot during development, and don't be afraid to make errors. Just make it and solve it afterwards. That's it, till you make it work. So let's continue. So the task 6 says you should create now a one-dimensional array for usernames. Actually, that makes here no sense because we will not use it, but okay, we can create it. And then we have here create a one-dimensional array for user got money. We have made something like that. Interesting. So we know from task 5 how to make this kind of stuff. That's easy. Then we should compare the first data table with the updated data table and write the difference in the first dimensional array. Which means this is exactly what we already did almost, right? We have here in our updated user got money. This was our task 5. We get here an array, which is a one-dimensional array, and we have here our two-dimensional array, and then we assign, okay, here's this other way around. So here we assign the one-dimensional array to our two-dimensional array, and our job is now the other way around, right? We should assign a two-dimensional array to a one-dimensional array, and we should write here the difference, which means first, before we can write anything, we have to compare them and yeah, and get the values and then write it in a one-dimensional array. Okay, but that sounds similar, like that we can use this kind of function what we have, right? It's similar. And when we have this already, why we not use it, I would say, if I made not again a mistake. But let's think a little bit more this time, not that we start over again and again. So what we have to do is just compare the updated table. Let's see, this one with this one. These are the two tables which we have to compare. The problem is we can compare only these tables here if we have saved them, and I don't see that we have saved them. The one is saved, yes. The one we have saved here, we have created here an array, a 3x3 array with the first values. That's okay. But the problem is the second one, we have print them out here. I think that was this one here. Yes, we print them out. No, that was not. Let's see. Here on main was it. Let me see where my main is. Here. So in main, we have print them out here. That was our task 5, where I said it was very easy. And when I go here, go to definition. Okay, takes here. And here we can see, I make it up. Yes, we have only printed out. And the problem is, we have not saved that. So we have, wait a minute, this is not the one, right? That's not the one. I mean, that is our one, normally. Here is the updated user got money. Why I have called this here then wrong? Let's see. Did I made here something wrong? No, I did not. Because I have this one, but this one is not the right thing. So I made a big mistake here again, right? Is this right or is this right? No, it's not right. All right. Now I see what I did. So what I did is I overwrite my array with the updated version. So which means the first array, which I have here, will be overwritten by this update function here, because here I overwrite it with this one here. And here I assign it the new values, which I get from my one-dimensional array here. That means this version is gone. And yeah, that's a problem. We need both now. And one is overwriting the other. So how we can solve that? And we must solve that so that we still use this one here, which means that was the getting input, which we want not make manual, which will be later read from a file, but this reading from a file we have not discussed yet. That's why we created this one-dimensional array here, and then we assigned them here with our logic here to the two-dimensional array, and I overwrote here the values of this user got money array. So what we have to do is actually just create one more this array and then assign these values here in it, right? That's it. And we can make this very easy. At least I try make it very easy. I use this function again, but what I have to do is just create an array and replace this line here. Instead of using my array, which I have here on top, I use the new array, which is empty. We will initialize it to 0 and then assign all the values to it. All right, I think that's a plan, right? So with this plan or this thinking, let's try to do it. So we will not destroy this one, which means I will use this function here, but I will just copy and overload it, which means we know what overload means, I hope by now. Copy this one and I paste it here again. And perhaps update user got money. Yes, this one was for task 5, this is for task 6. And when we overload our function, and we know what overload means we use the same name, but we have to change, if we use the same name with a function, the parameters. Then you can overload it. So we have to change here the parameters. And what I want change is here, this one, this one-dimensional array from task 5 I need, because these are the updated values here, which we get here, which we get normally read from a file, but we created this one because we can't read from a file. Okay, that's fine. So this parameter I need, but I need one more. And the second parameter what I need now is this array. I want that this array is assigned here because I will assign it as a parameter, then I use it as a parameter, and then I assign it to this one here. So that's my plan. So let's see if I can do it. Make here a little bit space and later we can do it together. So what I do is now say, okay, let's make two parameters. How we make two parameters? Just a comma, right? And then we have to write again what? Interesting. It's very easy actually, because we write again already what we have, a two-dimensional array, which means I can just copy this on top. We're doing exactly the same thing here again, but careful. This one here, this, and then we have just to think what we write. For example, I want to use here, yes, I want to use here just an array, but which type I want, right? The type is also very clear because we want to assign values. Numbers, and these numbers we have already defined are doubles. So we need just doubles, which means we need just this line here, this parameter line here, which is already created. And because I want paste it here, right? So I make this and I test it. If it's right, I use it. If it's not, I change it. Very easy. Don't worry about mistakes. Copy. Enter. It's too long. That's why I go to the second line here. but you can do, of course, something like that too. For example, if it's too long, sometimes you will see people make this one. This is something new. So the parameter list here in the second line. And yeah, sometimes you will see this one, because sometimes you will see there are parameter lists who are 9 lines long, and 9 lines here on one line makes no sense. But if you go below, doesn't matter how long the parameters are, then if you go down, it's easier. So I used the first time this version of the parameter list, which means we go down. But careful, this is just parameters, don't be irritated. And yeah, I have defined here again this one. And now we have defined our overloaded function here, which looks a little bit strange now, but like I said, don't get irritated. It's just other presentation. And now let's go on. What we need there, we need actually many things. This here needs to be prototype, but before that, let's create this this array. We have not created this array where we want to put in the values, and we have not changed here this one as well. So we have to, let's start with creating the array, and then we see what we do. So actually this array we have to create, not this one here. This one we have already. This is our update values. All right, so let's create our two-dimensional arrays. And you can see here I cleaned a little bit up here on top. I have no more global variables. I put this time all in my namespace, what are called from different places. And yeah, that's good. Which means here on the right side, when we check this one, we see here no variables. But when I open up my namespace here, this symbol here is my namespace, and you see all the variables which are normally global are here. Right? That's nice. All right, we go back here and we create an array. Because I'm lazy, I copy this one because it's anyway the same, only a little bit naming different. So I make here a copy, I go down here, let's paste this one, and let's get rid of all the values, because this array we have to initialize to what? To 0. And how we initialize this array to 0? Yes, when we make here an empty bracket, this is a shortcut to initialize the full array to 0, 0, 0. All right, with that said, we need one more thing. We need a new name, which makes sense. In my case, I will call this array by month. Let's say here January for Jan and February for Feb. All right, which means also I made now many mistakes because I changed this one here. So we can see I have here many mistakes now. Let's keep this one here. Let's keep the first one by default, then I have no mistakes. And let's start here with January. Normally you should make this one as well at start when you define it. Okay, this is for January, this is for February, or different, depends on what you need. But I start now here with January, and this is, let's say, our task 5, and I keep it by default. All right, with that said, I created already my array, which is again the same array like before. And later we will even learn to create dynamical arrays. Right now we have only the static array, which means we can't change here the size dynamically and so on. But this also in future. Right now we say we need this one. All right, and now I go here down to my function, and let's go on with the definition, right? We have said we need this array. Yes, I will pass in exactly this array what I created, so I know exactly what I will pass in as an argument later. And I expected that it comes here later. And now I need to use this name here, of course, the variable name here, and change this one here. And that's the easy thing. That's why I said I make it very easy, because all this kind of stuff what we made in task 5 we can use, right? I paste this one here, I paste this one here, That was not right. Let's see what's the problem. Ah, that's the problem. Oh, okay. We are not doing this way. We copy this one here. Sorry. When we copy this one, why I pass this one in? Why I have passed this one in when I'm not even using that? Perhaps I want to define which array I'm going to use as well. I wanted probably just show how you can make this one here, because normally you can just pass the array from top from the namespace here and that's it. But let's see, if you pass this one here, then this time we make it different. This time we make it different. And yes, we make it absolute different now. No, we make it a little bit more complicated. I mean, even better for repeat. What I'm doing now is I change this one here. I use this param, but this time I can't use const. Why not? Because I want to assign something to it, right? And you will see if I want to try to assign something to it, which means, yes, which means I paste here this thing in, username, and it's complaining here because it's const. It says expression must be modifiable value. And right now we have a const. And normally I said const we use when we want just take an argument and want not change it. But here I want change it. I want assign it. And this is called a backwards assignment, more or less, because at start we have nothing assigned to it, all are 0, 0, 0. And now what I'm doing here is actually I get rid of this const, and now I assign these values in it. I can do it, even if it's given here by argument, right? That's a little bit what we never did so far, because I said all time we will use this const, most time with reference, but this time I want to make an assignment backwards, which means I'm assigning it to this value here, which is 0, 0, 0, in this function here. So, and we will test this, but before we test it, I must do this, of course, for the other ones too, which is this one here. Let's get rid of this one as well, paste this one in, and let's do this one here as well. There is normally a replacement command. For example, you can just replace all the same namings, but later we learn a little bit more shortcuts like that. But right now it's okay if you can just follow. So with that said, the function which we have is set up. Almost, we are not finished. This one is finished. This will assign it, I hope. And I hope it's not wrong. And then we need a little bit go on, because right now I finished just the definition, and we learned that this definition needs, of course, be forwarded here. And the reason for declaration forward was because I use it here in main, and the function definition comes afterwards, which means I need again here this forward declaration. I paste it in, and it looks a little bit strange. Don't worry about this one here, because normally you can see our functions look like with one parameter. Here's like this, and here it goes down. And yeah, but get used to it, because in future we can have really here not millions, but 5, 6, 7 parameters. It's possible because they pass in and then they need it. And then we go down here most time, not here in one line, because we can't read most time here on one line, which is too long. That's why all time downwards. All right, with that said, we are almost finished. We are still not finished. We need one more thing. What we need? Of course, we need calling this. Let's call this one here just for test purposes. Let's copy this one. Let's write here task 6 so we know where we are. Let's press here a little bit the new lines, and let's see how we can call this. I need this one here. I need to call this one. Let's call this one. I copy just this line here. I paste this one here, and now I have, of course, to use the right arguments. Arguments are the things which we are going to pass in. So first of all, what I need at this point, and I make here actually one more mistake, and I hope you will spot it out later. But you can, it's a little bit hard to see right now, but I mean not this red red thing here. This is just because I have not passed in the arguments, but there is another mistake, logical mistake. But let's see if you try to spot it out while I'm typing here the parameters. So what parameters I need? First of all, we can watch it here. The first is this one here, one-dimensional array, and the one-dimensional array is our values, updated values, which we normally read, and I have created them here as an array. So I need this value first, this argument. First, I copy this one. This is my first argument, paste it. My second argument is I need now, and you can also see here this overload tooltip, and it says the second argument which you need should be a double, and this one here. So we find a double. Let's try to find which double is, of course, the question. And this one will try to update this one. This is again an update got money, which means we have this one already created, and my second one is the empty one, right? Because it must be empty because I want to create a new one. That's why I need this one, and I need just the variable name here. Let's copy this one here and paste. And if you made all right, it should work. Not like here, like me, but here it is anyhow saying anything it's wrong. Let's read what is wrong. And can you spot this mistake? Okay, I have even two logical failure mistakes. This one, what is this mistake here? Can you solve this instantly? It says identifier is undefined, and when we go on top here, this identifier, what I have here, is defined, but where it is defined in my namespace. Don't forget, if you put something in namespace, you need the resolution, namespace name, and the resolution operator. And we use the namespace so we have no name conflicts later. And that means we make here colon, paste the namespace in. And let's copy this one here because I need it for the other one too. Copy this one and here paste in. All right, so now this is right probably, but there is a logical failure here. Can you think about a logical failure? Think about what I'm doing here is I'm starting to call here task 1, task 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm task 6. Will this go well? It's the question, and probably now you should spot it. That will not go well. And the reason for that is because in task 5, I'm already changing my base array, right? In task 5 here, let me open up this one. This is the task 5. Here we are already changing it, which means I will, the base array here is already changed and will be used here in the next task as well, so it will not work. So how I can solve this very easy? Yes, we have to, let's say in this case, oh, there are different ways probably, but one easy way is just don't let task 5 happen. Yes, so that's probably the easy way. So here, this print out this one here. You don't want that this here, this assignment update user got money assignment is not happen at this point, right? That was only for task 5 and 4 relevant. It was even task 4, I think. Task 5 was just print out. That's not so important, but task 4 was it. And we just say now, no, you are not doing it. So which means I just comment this one out for test purposes. And I don't need this print out as well here. Let's comment both out as well and see, because now I need another order, because now I need the login account. Yes, that I need. Then we have here print out the two-dimensional array, print out the other array. Yes, this is our two arrays at start. And now I need first this update and create a second array assignment, which means I have this array, and now I assign this array here. And this one I do exactly at this point. So this one needs to be at least commented out now. We can delete it later, or we can put it another place. But right now, this is the order which I need. And yeah, let's see what happens. So here we are at this point, and let's make a last check if all is fine. I'm going in, and then what I'm doing here, I print this out. And there is one more problem. Can you spot it? I still have made one more problem here. I have not updated this one as well, because of course when I print out, I should try to print out the new array, which is of course this one here. Let's copy this one here. Let's copy here. And yes. And I will not delete all. I need this again. And normally, like I said, there is a function when you highlight this one here. You can... Oh, second, is there another problem? Oh, Control Z, I'm on the wrong place, right? Here, well, I have to do it here. Yes. Yeah, don't make this mistake like me. Go to the wrong function. So here I need this one here. I paste this one here. This is January, and I update this one. And like I said, there is a function. I can't remember this one. You can just overwrite all with one time, and then all the same names are overwrite too. But yeah, I watch it later and explain it then when we need it again. Right now we make it the slow way, which means just delete it. But in future we will learn the other way as well. Sorry. So with that said, I think we are ready for our first test, and then see if this is working or not. So we start. Let's see how many arrows we have, or is it right? So let's see. First of all, our login account. That is expected. That worked so far. Then our print out here. That was okay. My second print out. That was the oh, we have here another mistake. I totally forgot to change this one here. I wanted to say we have more mistakes to correct and forget to change these mistakes. Later we can change this one as well, but let's concentrate us here right now, which means here are our names. It's okay. Here are our values for the first array. Okay, that's nice. And here is this our values for the second arrays? We have to check. It starts with 2,000, 8,000, 5,000, 3,000, 7,000. Yes, it looks good. It looks good. Only the outprint looks not good, but it is. But this one shows us that we have created this array. That's why I printed this out, not for an outprint, because I have not used this one, which means that's nice, right? So we have assigned the values from our, let me show this here. We have now assigned these values to this array here. That was what we made here actually, here with this new function, with this overloads, and with this important here again, I emphasize this one. Now we have not used const, and these values here are assigned backwards, right? We assigned this one to the function here in main as an argument. You can see here as an argument. The argument is taken here as a parameter. Also this argument comes here, and this one is then used. Use this one here actually. This one is then used to assign values to it. but at this point of time it was 0, 0, and we assign it backwards to the caller. And the caller was here in int main when we go back. And it was this one here, which is our array here on top. You see, that I mean all time with backwards assignment, because normally you expect, as a programmer, you normally expect that the values are assigned before you use it, right? Here, it's the other way around. It's not assigned because it's assigning backwards with pointers, and so something or references is possible. We learned why, because references behave like pointers, and that's why. I hope you remember this kind of stuff too. If not, no worry. That's why we make this exercises to train this kind of stuff, to repeat and repeat and repeat and train and train and train. So this was good, at least so far. I created now this array, but I'm not finished with my task. So that was just one part, right? So because I have to compare now the first data table, which means this one here, with the second one, and the second one is now defined. This is this one here, right? We have created this and this. Now I have both available, and now I have to compare them, all right? And then I should write the difference, more or less, to a one-dimensional array, and that's very easy. We create one new one-dimensional array, and what we do is, just because the difference means here, we have just to take the first one and subtract this one from the first one, which means we go to slot here to 0, 0, here to 0, 0, and the first one minus the second one. And we do this with all the other ones. The first one minus the second one, the first one minus the this one, all time minus minus the second one, and we will get then the values. And actually this is fairly easy now. This is really easy, so I hope we can make this without an error. Let's see, perhaps I make some errors too and solve them. So this one was not good. We have to close this. That's why it was open, and that's why I almost put all the variables here. That's why let's close this one. In this one we can open it. Now we are finished actually, because this was this array assignment, and here we have this array assignment. And now let's see, we can create a new function, perhaps not. Let's see if it makes sense or not. When we read the task, we should compare and create a new variable. So this one, this whole thing here is another task here, right? Okay, we have to create here this usernames. I don't know why, it makes no sense. We are not using the usernames array at all. Perhaps you can create these usernames for training if you want, but it is not used in the program. This one was used. Create a one-dimensional array for user got money. Yes, this one we will use, this one-dimensional array here in the second part. And this old part here is probably we need for this one a function too, to encapsulate it again in one place. So, and how we can make this, and I said this function should be not too difficult, I hope. Let's say compare two dimensionals array function. Let's jump and make it. So first of all, let's go down here. I go to the to my function definitions again. I start with a function definition. Let's say I need this one and call this. Do I need, first of all, again, when we start with function, what we do we need a return type in this case? No, not really, right? We are just, perhaps not. No, because I just get here, I should just create a one-dimensional array, and I should just subtract the take the first one and subtract here the second one values all time. This one, taking this and subtracting this one. This is just a little mathematical function which is just minus this is very easy, and then assign it to the one-dimensional array. So that's actually easy. So here we can start with the one-dimensional array. Let's create this one. And we call this one-dimensional array difference here. We should write the difference about two data tables. All right, let's call it something with difference. And important is again, which type we need. Yes, we need again, we are working here with numbers again, and this two numbers are anyway doubles, and double is a good precision number. Let's use again double. Okay, we found the type. This time we need a one-dimensional array. We can start with the one dimension. We need, again, we need 9 because when we compare them one by one, so we compare in total 9. So we know also how many slots we need. Perfect. And now we just need to find a good name. Again, let's say difference to tables, to difference to tables. It's not a super name, but it's a name, difference to tables. And or we can make a little bit more we can define this tables a little bit more specific, because two tables is again so general. Difference user got money tables or something like that. User got money tables. All right, difference user got money tables. I choose this one here and I assign it at start to 0. And how we assign it to 0 as well with the empty curly braces, this will work. All right, this one step we did again. We go here to the next thing. This time we create a function because I want now do this action here, just a subtraction actually. That's why it's so easy. Let's go it and do it. Let's write void. I think I use here also this name here. What I have here, difference user got money tables. Okay, something like let's write here user got money difference calculator. This I call this one here so when I read it one time, I know user got money is probably what I have here, and then difference calculator makes also sense. It's not perfect, but it's better than a short one. And let's go on. And yeah, let's write the parameters. Do we need parameters? Of course we need parameters probably. So what parameters I need? It's the question when I watch this one on top. I need the one table probably. Yes. Then I need the second table. Okay, I can make it this way. And then I need oops, this one is my second table. And then I need assigning to this table. So there are different ways to do it. You can make it with parameters, because you say all these values are given and they should assign to each other. And because I want to train a little bit parameters, let's do it with parameters. All right, so what we do is again similar to this one here. We take, let's take this one, copy this one, oops, copy this one, but this one is actually, this one is better if I copy this one here with this one here, because this time I want not change it. I copy this one here. It's all time the same. So here I need probably many parameters again. So I go again the other format, which means I take this parameter, my first parameter. Then I need again my second parameter. And I need one more parameter in this case, which is this one-dimensional array parameter. I think I have this one here also. So I don't have to type this. Yes, and I have this here. Oh, why is this so complaining again? Don't know. Duplicated params, yes, but how is this possible? Oh, you duplicated it. Ah, yes, of course. Here I have duplicated it. Username arrays param. Let's call this here 1 and this here 2, just in case. These are just so. And I think we have made our parameters. Of course, you don't have to use your parameters, so you can say also just use it from the namespace and call it, but I want that the caller should give us here this information. So here I say I want that you give me this information first, and then I calculate it depends on your input, right? This parameters are the input for the function, and depends on this one I do action. And let's define this action. So defining action again, we open up this one here, and then we have here this calculation. So what I want to do is, this one is the thing which I want assign, which means I can't use this one as const. The other one I can keep const, no worry, because this one I can't. I want assign something to it. So this one is will be assigned, and this one is again the same like before, backwards assignment, which means here we have again 0 as initialized, and with that one I will assign it here on top to this variable backwards, because here I make this assignment. All right, I hope that's not too complicated. If it's complicated, don't worry. With time we learn this a little bit more, and because we have never used it, we have talked about this kind of stuff much, but we have never used it in our tutorials. I trained it so much, only demonstrated. So here we are using it actually. So here's my param which I want, and here I make this assignment, and my assignment is very simple. The first array minus the second array, right? That's very nice. So let's make this one here. Copy, paste, here pasting, then this one here, copy, and here minus this one here. And of course I forgot the parameters, and the parameters we have, I mean the array slots, not the parameters, the array slots. And of course I have to define this one as well, so that we can make this. Okay, but when we watch this now, we have a problem. So what is the problem? This one here probably will not work anyhow, right? Because we have here one value, we have here, actually we have here only a one value too, so it will work. But the other problem is we need again something like a loop, right? Because the problem here is we have to loop through this one. So through we have to get here the first slot and the second slot and so on. So we have just to go through. So how we can make this? Again, we need a for loop. Of course, you can use other loops here as well to test and train. I use again this for loop, and I'm lazy again, which means I just copy this one instead of writing one. Of course, you should write this for training purposes. And I'm, like I said, I skipped this part. And let's see how we assign this. So we have here this for loop. And the question is now, do I need this kind of stuff here? Probably yes, probably not. Don't know. But here is our for loop here. We start from here. This kind of stuff we think later. We put now our thing here on top, for example. Paste it in, yes. I have it here almost, but not still not. And then I say, okay, we have here something, right? Here we have our a way how we can assign this. So here we write just I and K probably, because I'm not sure, but you can see this one will loop here. Here is our row, and here are our columns, so it will go here when I watch this again. Here it starts here, our row would be here, and then column 1, column 2, column 3, so it goes here and here and here. So that looks very promising. Let's go on. And the same goes from here because they are identical. That's very important. These arrays must be identical, so it will not work with not identical arrays. So they are identical, and how I know they are identical, because I defined them 3 by 3, the other one is also 3 by 3. So that's very good. So we have found our first solution, which is just, like I said, was simple. I go here, take this one minus this one, and then the last step is assign it to this one-dimensional array. Like here, we have now to find where we assign this one. And yeah, actually we can use the solution from, let's see, k. It must be k here probably. Why k? The reason for that is k will be go all time here through. These are the columns which it will go through. The problem is, again, this how we switch this here down. And if you made task 5 and if you follow this tutorial how I messed this up, then you know this here on the below is the solution here with when we say if I equals 0, then we know it will do this one here. And later we say here k plus 3, this is an array, and we go to the array slot plus 3. So we start with, let's say here is 1, no, is 0. It starts with 0 normally. K starts all time here with 0. It goes here 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. That's it. But we add all time 3 on it, which means slot with 0 would be 3, slot 1 would be 4, slot 2 would be 5. This is just to switch the slot. We have not talked about this one in the tutorial, but I hope you can catch up and read this in the documentation or online C++ books. It's not difficult, it is just slot selection. And yeah, and I use this again, with other words, which means I take this line here. Let's take this one here. Let's kick this line out and paste this in. And yeah, let's do this for the other one too. Have I copied this one here, by the way? Because I need here copy. And so the most work I did probably in the last video with my messy code, my messed up code, I mean. But yeah, you see this code which I messed up helps me now very much, because I use it just and hope it works. And if it not works, then I have a problem. So now the last thing what I have to change, because it was again a copy paste, careful when you make copy paste, this output here, right? This output is putting here a 2-dimensional array, but I want to see the updated values and not the dimensional array, which means I copied this one here and print this one out, right? I want to print out the 1-dimensional array. So which means I will get probably here a problem. And I have another problem here. I want not print out this one here actually. Actually, I want print out this one here to see what the values are, right? Because this one is just assignment, a backwards assignment, and it will assign it here. And I want print out the values here, which means I have take this one, and I have here another problem again, because this is the namespace. I need this one as well. So let's keep this namespace here, because that I need. And then I change this one here just. And yeah, and of course I write here. There is one semicolon gone. I mean colon gone, and that's why I had an error. And let's write here, of course, k, because k is the thing what I want to print out. And yeah, I copied this line here actually, and I replace this one with this one. And let's see here a little bit more. What was that shifting? All right, and here one more. So, and here a little bit cleanup, And we can see if this is working. No, it's not working. Why not? Because we are not finished. Of course, I am finished with the definition, right? But I need again forward declaration and I need a call. So don't forget this. Let's do this. First, let's make our forward declaration. Copy this one here. I go here on top and I paste it here as my forward declaration in this case. All right, one step. I need here one more thing, which is a semicolon, of course. And I need one more step, and that is my call, because now I have task here. What is task 6? We are not finished because this one was the part 1 of task 6, which was just the update user got money that we have, and now we call the next function. And let's make here also a new line so we can see it a little bit better. Just a little bit formatting. And let's put this one here. And I say, okay, I need to call this one with this kind of arguments. Okay, let's see. And this arguments, call of arguments must be the right order. If you call them in the wrong order, you get a wrong calculation. So that's also very important. All right, so first of all, let's call it. Let's find the right arguments. And again, here you can see that this little tooltip says already what it expects. First of all, we expect a const double, then a const double again, and then a just double in one array. So these are two-dimensional arrays here. You can, and now we start to read also this kind of very strange tooltips, right? At the beginning of this tutorial, when we would see something like that, we would say, oh, what is that? But right now, I hope you all get used to this one. And it's not so complicated anymore because we know exactly what this kind of stuff is now here. Even it looks really, really complicated. Const, double, reference, parentheses, square brackets, two square brackets, and so on. I hope by now that you get used to this one here slowly. If not, no problem. We are starting training this kind of stuff, but you see we are using this and we know exactly now what's going on here. That's very important. So let's find the right arguments. First of all, I need the first data table. That's very important that you not accidentally choose here the, let's say, a wrong data table, which would be this one here. I need this data table. Let's take this as an argument. Copy this one. All right, my first argument. Paste it. Then I need again a const double, which is my second data table. In this case, it looks a little bit strange because when you watch it here, it is not initialized. But during the code, we know we have initialized it while we started this program. So during play, well, what is not gameplay here? What is called here in C++? It is called during runtime. Ah, yes, it was called runtime here. So during runtime, we have initialized this array and assigned the values to it. And here, then assign the second value. All right. And of course, I forget again here this namespace. I'll do it in a moment. Let's find the last array as well. And the last array, what I need is the array which I want to assign the values in, right? This is this one here. And copy. So we have also to know exactly what we want to do. With that said, this is my call. And of course, I have these arrows again because I'm using a namespace. So I don't have no name conflicts later. Let's use this one, login account. Copy. And then, yeah, let's write them here. And I copy this one here. I'll copy this one here. Normally I could copy this one here. Why I go at top? Oh, because I'm really not so lazy as I thought. No, I'm still lazy. All right. With that said, we are almost finished. We have to test this now. If perhaps we made a crap, perhaps it's not working. Let's see. I hope it works. I don't know. If it's not working, we have to change it. That's the way it goes. So, all right, we have here strange values. So this is the first one, this is the second one, and now this is the values which I get probably. Let's see what we have here. If this is some what this is, we have to check what we have made here, right? Right now I see strange numbers. I don't know if they are correct or not. Let's open this one fast up and see where we are. So we start with what? We start with this values here on top. I print this out, I print this out. All right. Then what I am doing then I print this on three-dimensional arrays. Write an array created by task 2. And here is the update. So this here is my update, right? Here we can see it. I hope it's working. Yes. And now after this one, we are creating our updated array. So I'm not sure. This value looks a little bit suspicious here. If this is right. So, all right. So, which means, let's see. Let me check the last values. Looks a little bit. Okay, it's not suspicious, it's right. So what I have to do is right now here, 1000 minus 2000 is minus 1000. That's right? Then 9000 minus 8000 is 1000. That's okay. 4000 minus 5000 is minus 1000. All right. And it looks like, let's check one more. Normally you have to check all, but let's check at least here a little bit further. Let's say I check this one here. 5000 minus 6000 is again minus 1000. Let's check this in the middle here, perhaps. So that we have not checked all, but it looks like this is right. So that is good. Interesting that I made not a mistake here. That's nice. Not like my last video. All right, with that said, we are not really finished, because the task says here create one-dimensional array for usernames, but actually we are not using that. So I'm not creating that because we are not using that. Why I should create something when I'm not using, perhaps later, but right now for this task, this line makes no sense. I kick it out. And this one here, create one-dimensional array, we did this. So there was one more mistake. Let's correct this fast as well. I hope you spotted it out. Let me start and show you this fast again, because we are almost finished. Coder A, and here on top, usernames and usernames. That was the, I forgot this to change here, because let's see how we can change this. So interesting is task 4 and 5 is here not called anymore. Okay, because we can't do this, we would override our values. That's okay. So let's see, login account here, this one here, how I can go to this function. There are different ways. One way is right click and go, or should use the shortcut here. Net peek, go to definition, and we jump in, we can open it up. And here it says usernames. And the next one is probably another problem. Let's see, this is double, this is string. So the string has username and the other should called what? User got money probably. That's not a big deal, I hope. This is the right one. We have here double, yes, this one is it. Let's call this here user got money. User got money table. And with that said, coder A, and yes, it is working anyhow. So we have finished our login account. We have finished our display on the screen. I hope you made it better than me and tried the challenge, which is creating a presentation like this, which is probably really hard, I think, for starters, because it took me here already some time to make this one. And if you tried formatting like this one, it's much harder, but you probably learn a lot of and repeat a lot of keywords when you are doing this. So try it, even if it's not working, just try it so that you get used to working with keywords and how to try make them work. Then let's continue. We have made this one. We have then created here. Yes, we have there, before we go there, we have already finished this task here to update this one here. So we have used this one here and overwrite the values here. That's not presented here because we have commented out. We learned that we can comment out here. Task depends on what we need. That's also nice. And we have then created dimensional arrays. Again, 2-dimensional arrays, how to create one and assign backwards values. This kind of stuff what we did right now, this new way here without using const, which means we assign backwards the values because that looks all time strange, right? We have here this nothing here assigned, but during runtime we assign the values here in and they get assigned. So that's interesting. And yeah, we have calculated the difference. That was actually not very difficult. It was just first value minus second value. That was really easy. The more difficult part was probably to set up what we did in the last video, this kind of stuff. If you made something like that, and this we have not talked about. Let's see. All right, we didn't need this other one. This k plus 3 was on the other thing here. Yeah, and here was easy. We have just take the first value, subtracted just the second value and assigned it to the first dimensional array. But it's a good training. I hope you trained this all things. So we have trained here much. So, but I want to say one more thing. And important here to realize is also that we will do this one here, this task here, what I said, that this kind of tables here in future, that's very important. We will get them not manually. What I mean manually, they are probably provided in a file. Then we will create a file reader, and the file reader will then automatically read the file first, and then we save these values here in an array or in any other object. Must be not an array, can be other kind of stuff. And yeah, and here we train just manually to do this. This will be normally automated. So in general, what you should learn here is first repeat all the keywords, second try hard and do a lot. And I hope you tried it and made many progress, because you learn only this kind of stuff with trying, because here again, this kind of stuff, learning how to call them, how to use them in code, how to make many errors like me, and then try to solve them, because I made errors. Yes, making errors is no problem as long as you solve them, because that's the key feature for a programmer. A programmer must solve errors, learn to solve errors. This is really a part of a programmer. It's called not errors in future. We will call them bugs, because programmers call them bugs, and you have to fix all time bugs. Believe me, in future, one of your job as a programmer is also fixing bugs. So that's why I say all time make errors, just try to solve them. That's very important for training errors solving. And yeah, with that said, we are finished with this exercise, but there is one more exercise which is not here. And this one more exercise is where I ask you again one-line questions, for example, one comment here, and then I solve them again in the same video, but you can pause then the video again and try it before I solve it. And there are around, I don't know how many questions I will ask. I will probably ask so many questions which we have not covered here in this repeat, because we have covered here many things, but we have not covered all the keywords which I wanted. For example, we have not talked about while loops here at all. I won't cover this kind of stuff again. And then pointers, I won't cover pointers again. And yeah, there are many things which we have not covered in this exercise, and that's why we make this one more bonus exercise where we cover all this kind of stuff, because training is too important. And then we will continue with our journey of learning programming and go to more advanced stuff after this. Not advanced, still basics. Yeah, still basics, but there soon we will go to classes. And when we reach classes, then yeah, then we reach the pivot point where all goes really crazy, because then we can create absolute big programs and so on. But we are not finished there then also, but still. So I talk so much that I think it's better that I stop here now. And if you have any questions or any complaints or any suggestions, then like all time, write it in the comments. And like all time, try hard. Don't give up, and you will definitely get better than me. See you on the next. Bye and good luck.